You're live.
You got it going?
Got it going.
All right, folks, this is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, my special guest, I don't even know your all's names, but you're from Tennessee. It's two twins, and you all bought a farm, and of all things, folks, they came to us from New York City, and they're so enamored about their food and the source of the food, they decided to take ownership of that. And so they bought a chunk of land in Tennessee, and they're here staying at Airbnb. They wanted to see the sheep. And so they've got chickens, and what else do you have?
Quail.
Chicken, quail.
Next lamb.
And lamb is your next enterprise to add. And so they're out here learning. They drove all the way up here from Tennessee to Green Pastures Farm to see the way it's done. And I think that's pretty cool. They are a high profession. I mean, they're very highly educated, but they're also very, they're concerned about their food. And I think the way to take ownership of your health is to start producing your own food. And so we're back here with the sheep. We're just showing that sheep are eating on this cedar tree here behind us. And normally a sheep doesn't eat cedar, but in the wintertime, I've seen they'll eat cedar, and that's a natural parasite resistant. The dogs are back there. You can see them kind of walking around the edge. We've got 5 dogs in here, including Duke, the Armenian Gamper. He came up and he kind of wanted a pet, didn't he? He's a friendly cuss. We've got some goats in here. So the rams and the billies were put in December 1st, and that's going to give us kidding and lambing on pasture in May. Folks, I see so many people on YouTube, they're just doing it completely the opposite of what we're doing. They've got them in barns, they're in muddy lots, and then the title of the article is, oh, we got it, we got parasites, or we got coccidiosis, or we've got scours. It's like, yeah, you're not following nature's role. Nature does not drop baby lambs in the middle of the wintertime. You want your birthing process to take place out on the landscape where the sun is cleaned off the plants and you're moving the animals. And so the young ladies asked me, what would be some advice that I would give for starting out on their own farm? I said, number 1, move them. Number 2, keep those sheep from grazing down real short. In other words, graze the top parts of the plant. Have your rotation, no matter how many acres you have, set it up to where you can go as long as 60 days in the summertime, probably 20 to 30 days in the spring. Because the best medicine for a sheep is fresh, rested forage. These sheep don't get anything. They don't get any grain. They don't get any hay. We don't doctor them. They don't get hormones. We're not injecting them with anything. They don't get their feet trimmed. They don't get their tails docked. They don't have to shear them. Oh, and we don't wean them. Folks, they're the most lowest maintenance animal on our farm. And people go, well, I got rid of the sheep. There's too much work. And I'm like, well, you had the wrong sheep. You had the wrong sheep. The one thing they require out here, if you're looking around this area, it's full of coyotes and bobcats. Full of them. There's probably one over here listening to me talk. Okay? Well, guess what? Sugar right here, she's not gonna let a coyote or a bobcat come within a half a mile of these sheep. The young ladies and I, we were walking down here, and we were probably half a mile from them. And we were talking in not this loud of a voice. They heard us. They started barking right away. There was something strange. And that's all you want a dog to do is bark. If you have a dog that takes off and chases the coyotes and takes them clear off your farm and the next farm and the next farm, that's a dog that's going to get killed because he's going to get hit. I want the dog to bark at him, and he can run him to the edge of the farm, but then I want him to come back. And I forgot your name.
Grace.
Grace. If you look at, what is it? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Grace. Here's our perimeter fence over here. It's a 2-wire, and all it is a poly braid. The bottom wire is 10 inches, and the top one is about 18 inches. The reason we have 2 on it is there's goats. We've got goats in here. But the boys are now rotating these goats. They're in there with the sheep. There's 1 wire. There's 1 wire as a break in between the paddocks. But the key to this, making this work, folks, is don't let your sheep or goats get hungry. If they get hungry because you didn't move them soon enough, they're going to move themselves, and then you got a wreck. If the sheep and the goats are just going everywhere, that's not a farm. That's a wreck waiting to happen. And the reason that is is that the sheep can't, you don't have any clean areas. You don't have any clean areas to put them onto. They're fouling and leaving manure and feet smell on everything. When you start putting them in tighter, Grace, let's look at this bush right here. So there's, of course it's winter time, but this is a multiple rose bush. So in the summertime when it's growing, it's got green blades of grass on it, leaves. The tighter you put your sheep and your goats, the more of the stuff they're gonna eat. Here's another one. This is ironweed, okay? They like this plant in the summertime. Cattle, forget about it. They're not gonna eat it. We'll switch me over here. I just saw the goats, of all things, they were eating this. Folks, this is the bad one. This is called broom sedge. I've never seen a sheep eat it. The darn goats, they were chewing on this a while ago. The goats are just more open. They'll eat about anything that's got brush on it or anything that's a little bit woody. They do a good job with it. But they're moving down to the cedars. That's the nice thing about having some cedars on your farm. We're in a, you want to say, a snow event here, and we came in here, they're all underneath that tree right there. Y'all see any snow underneath that tree?
No.
You said it good a while ago. It's an outside barn. Yep. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Grace and Sanga. Thank you both for being part of this video, and thank you for filming it, Grace.
You're welcome.
I know you're getting cold, so we're going to stop right here. Folks, have a good one. Hit that subscribe button way out, and we'll see you next time.